Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another apartment renovation, and I am renovating 17 Culpepper house in the Spice District of San Myshuno. And this is actually going to be a apartment for a sim who runs their own small business, or basically a self-employed sim. I thought that this would be a really fun idea because we do have some of those types of careers in the game, but I was also just inspired by the fact that technically I'm a small business owner and run my own self-employment from home, creating content on the internet. So I really wanted to do something to represent that in the game, although the career that I have this sim doing is actually different than that. It took me a little while to figure out what I was going to have this sim do for a living. I knew that they were going to be self-employed, run their own business, but as I was building, I kind of came up with the idea. And this is going to be for a sim who is an artist. More specifically, they work in letterpress and all sorts of printing to make art prints that they sell online and at the various festivals in the city. I just think this was a really fun idea, and it was actually inspired by some of the prints that are in the game that came with the Cool Kitchen stuff pack. I've just been really inspired lately when it comes to building in The Sims and creating content in general. I've been trying to expand on what I'm making this year. I've been posting more on other platforms. I've been streaming more, and it's just been a lot of fun. This year, I've been really focusing on time management and my productivity as a content creator, specifically using Notion and expanding my knowledge of design programs so I can be more efficient, which is why I've really been enjoying Skillshare. So thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across many different fields, like illustration, design, productivity, and so much more. Plus, their learning paths are fantastic. They are these curated collections of classes put together to help you master a specific skill. And with summer weather and slower schedules, now is the best time to explore new skills and hobbies. So this summer, I am taking time to improve my content. I'm currently taking Notion Masterclass, Maximize Your Productivity and Organization with Abdaal, and Social Media Content Creation in Canva from Beginner to Advanced. Both of these classes have been very insightful and packed with useful tips and tricks, and the instructors were easy to follow. I'm actually going to link both of those down below as well. And Skillshare actually has a special deal for you right now. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So make sure you check out that link, and thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. So we're working on the kitchen here. It ends up being just flat against this wall, which I think worked out really nice. I ended up using these base game cabinets, which just really felt correct. I was going for a pretty standard New York City inspired interior when it comes to the inside here with the older style cabinets and lots of exposed brick. It's one of my favorite styles to do in the game, so that worked perfectly. I also used this new tile as a backsplash in the kitchen. This tile is from the, the Riviera Retreat kit. It is meant to be in the pools, but I just thought it was so pretty, so I ended up using the more beige swatch in the kitchen, and then I pulled out these purple couches, and there was no going back. These are from Seasons. I don't use them as often as I used to, but they are so pretty. I love the swatch in here. And it really helped with me mixing a bunch of different wood tones in this space. I ended up going with quite a few different ones, and I'm also changing to a darker swatch of the cabinetry as well as the doors right now, and then trying to figure out if I wanted a fireplace in here. I end up going with the fireplace, but not that one in the end. I will be swapping it for something that's a little bit darker in color, but there ends up being one here in this living space as well as in the studio space, which is what's through those glass doors over on the other side of the room. That's where they end up having all sorts of art equipment. Unfortunately, we don't have printing presses in the game, but I was inspired by that idea because I did take a letterpress course in college, and it was so much fun. So I really liked the idea of that once I found some prints that kind of looked like that. So that room just has all sorts of artsy stuff for your Sims to do. There's a desk in there. There is also the crystal crafting table. I think it's actually called the gemology table. Either way, that's in there, as well as a woodworking table, an easel, and the item you can use to make candles that came with Eco Lifestyle. So there's a lot of different activities your Sims can actually do in that space. So it's for an artist in general who is running a small business out of their apartment. And I loved that idea. It also just makes me think of all the amazing artists that I support on Etsy, that I follow on Twitter. I'm actually really excited. There is a Etsy shop that sells some really beautiful embroidered pieces, and I recently ordered one, and I'm hoping it doesn't take too long to get here. because they are custom made and I believe they ship out of the UK. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they're not here in the US. And it's this sweatshirt that has a bunny on it and it says, "I'm gonna do it, okay? But just let me cry first." And it's just like an adorable bunny. And I'm a bun mom. Like, I have 2 rabbits that are my children. And I also relate to I relate to the statement on that sweatshirt. So I really needed it. And now I'm just rambling to you about artists that are small business owners. I guess it's on topic though. I would actually love to know if you have any friends or favorite people online that have small businesses. I'd love to see some of those in the comments. But anyway, this is where I'm changing the fireplace. I end up using this one from Parenthood, which I think just matches the style and color scheme a little bit better. Although the first fireplace I love, it is so beautiful. It's from the Growing Together expansion pack. And I wish it worked better in this space. I just felt like the colors didn't work very well. But over here is going to be our dining table. I did put it up against the wall to have a little bit more walking space around here for your Sims to access everything. I'm using a gorgeous glass table from Get Famous paired with these chairs from the Snowy Escape expansion pack. I really, really like how this looks together, and I love like the black accents with the appliances and the seats on these chairs. I just think it looks really nice together, and how like most of the built-in stuff in here is quite neutral and darker in color, but there's some fun pops of color with the purple sofas and some of the other decor in the space. But these are those prints that I had mentioned. The one with the rooster on it in particular, or chicken, I can't tell from the picture, is the one that reminded me of letterpress the most. Because one of the projects I had in my letterpress class was to use a quote you were given. Basically, we all pulled a quote out of a hat, and mine was something about, I believe it was, "Curses like chickens come home to roost." And I ended up having a very similar background color to that print in the game, and I had a chicken, and it just instantly put me back in time to that class. And so I was like, okay, that's it. This sim does prints, all kinds of printing. Letterpress is so fun. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically making artwork on a old printing press. And it's called letterpress because you're actually using the individual letter pieces and lining those up with bits of metal, and everything's backwards. It's very tedious and time consuming, but it's actually really fun, and you're rolling out the ink, and it's just a cool time. I would highly suggest looking into it if that sounds interesting to you, like at least looking up how it works and maybe some like cool art that was created with it. Not necessarily trying to find a class for yourself, because I feel like that's a little bit difficult to find. I was very, very lucky that I went to a school that had a printing press in it, and that was like a whole degree you could get. I just happened to take a one-off class because I was a graphic design major, not in the traditional arts or the more manual, like hand done arts. But I felt like it was fascinating to learn about, and it gave me a better understanding of some of the terms in graphic design, like kerning and leading and the different point sizes. It was just really fascinating. Actually, I would really love to get my hands on a print drawer, which is special drawers they had for keeping all of the different letters in and all of the spacing and all of that. They have a ton of different compartments, and I think it would be so cool to hang up on a wall as like a trinket display. I have so many little figurines and trinkets that I've collected, and an appreciation for letterpress, so I would love to get one of those at some point in time. I feel like I've seen them before at antique shops, but they're usually really, really expensive. So maybe someday I will get my hands on one of those, but let me change the topic and not just talk your ear off about letterpress this entire time, because it might not be that interesting, even though that is kind of what I was thinking the sim was doing for a living. But anyway, over here, I just have this little like side cart that has some storage for some plates and stuff to go by the dining area. I also ended up using this new mirror that came with the Cozy Bistro kit. I've been overusing it quite a bit lately. It is just such a stunning mirror. I end up using it both in the living room, and I believe it might actually be in the bathroom and in the bedroom in this apartment. And it ends up being in a couple of other ones that are coming up on the channel as well. I've just been having a lot of fun decorating spaces and trying some different ideas. I have a few other apartments in the works as well, but if you have any ideas for other builds you would like to see, whether they are apartments, houses, community lots, any of that, do let me know, especially while we're at this like period of time where we're waiting for an announcement of the next expansion pack. And then after it's announced, like waiting for it to come out, I would love any suggestions you have with items that we already have in the game, like ideas that we could dress right now. But of course, once that is announced, I would love suggestions for that as well. I'm so excited to be getting another expansion pack, and it does seem like it's going to be romance inspired. So, and that's very exciting. I wonder what kind of builds we could do with that. Anyway, over here by the entryway, I do have a closet, and I decided to add this window above it. I know this probably looks a little bit weird, but if you're familiar with New York City and like New York City apartments, it's very often that they will have a like extra little door space up above a closet for additional storage. Like maybe you'll put your Christmas decorations up there or your luggage for when you're not using it. So I thought that that little window from Island Living was the perfect size and shape for that idea. So that's why I put that up there. But anyway, I'm starting to work on the art studio now. I placed a couple of desks in the middle. I'm actually going to get rid of one of those because I felt like it was too cluttered in this space. I wanted to make sure your Sims could actually still navigate, but I did place down a woodworking bench on one side with the candle station next to it. And then over here, I have the gemology table and the easel. And I add a couple clutter pieces in here. I am rearranging this art to try and make it look a little bit more like purposefully tacked up on the wall. I also got some more tools over there, a couple of other things like our paintings here that are leaning up against the wall, some boxes of paper. I didn't actually end up putting a computer in this apartment when I was building it, but I did add one after the fact. So the version of this that is uploaded to the gallery does have a laptop. I didn't imagine them having like a setup with like a desktop PC because I was thinking that they are probably moving things around and photographing things that they make in various locations around their apartment, or maybe they're renting a studio space to get photographs of all of that. And bringing their computer around and having that as more of a mobile setup made way more sense to me for this sort of career. So I thought a laptop was the best idea. And then this is that mirror I had mentioned once again, making its way into this room. I brought in the purple with this really pretty rug I think that's from Parenthood. And of course, bringing in some plants and some light woods. I just think this space looks so cozy. The bed is actually from the Industrial Loft Kit. While I didn't go full on industrial in this apartment, it does feel like it has elements of that style. So I wanted to bring that in here. And I feel like these pieces from Seasons, the bedside tables and the dresser also have that idea because they are mostly wood, but they have those metal elements on the front. And I just think they're really pretty. I feel like it really complemented the idea and the style of this apartment quite well. And then I am using this end table here, which is from Crystal Creations, to be a TV stand in the bedroom. I do like to add TVs in rooms, not always, but I find it quite realistic. That's something that I enjoy having in my own space. I know not everyone's like that, but I personally need the sound and the little bit of noise in order to sleep. So I like to have a TV in my space. So I decided that the Sims liked that as well. And I got a couple of pieces of artwork also from the Cozy Bistro kit. I think that's one of my favorite kits in a while. It's just like so nice. The items I feel like I've been using in a lot of builds, even though I've only built one. It wasn't even a bistro. I built a pub, and other than that, I've been just using them in houses and apartments, and I feel like they are just such useful items. So I've been really happy with that kit in particular, but I might build another community lot at some point using that. I feel like I've gotten some suggestions lately on different ones to build, so if you have any more of those, do let me know. But anyway, this is the bathroom, and I believe the final room of this apartment that I haven't shown off yet. I decided to do a bit of a custom shower here using this window from the Island Living pack as a divider. I also used the same mirror in here that I've been using everywhere, and I got some extra storage because it was a very big apartment, or not big apartment, big bathroom. This room was quite large. You could probably replace that with like washing machines. This would be a good spot to add laundry if you want to have that in your game and you have the laundry day stuff pack. I know it can be kind of frustrating and annoying sometimes to have your Sims doing laundry, so I decided not to add it in here, but I feel like that would be a really good spot to include it. Since I think it's pretty realistic to have the washer and dryer in a bathroom, although that's never been my experience. I know in different parts of the world and even different parts of the US, there are different areas to put a washer and dryer, and I feel like this has come up in a lot of videos. But in my experience, I know a lot of people have laundry rooms. I've never had a laundry room. It's always been something, if you have it, it's in the basement. But this is an apartment. And I feel like most of the time, at least in my experience, you do not have laundry in your units. And especially in New York City, probably not even in the building. So Anyway, that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, click that bell to be notified when I upload, and thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Please check out that link down below. It's a great way to support me and my channel, and it's a really great resource. Enjoy the screenshots. Bye, everyone.